Welcome to the Surrendered Strength Radio. As Christian men, we are called to surrender our lives to Jesus. To surrender to Jesus means to give in, not to give up. We are called to use our strengths, abilities, and opportunities to grow and prosper. We are called to strengthen ourselves, our families, and our communities. We are called to encourage and lift up our brothers in Christ. We are called to honor and glorify God in all things. To surrender our strengths, we must live to a higher standard. We must live with strength, courage, and honor, to love God and to love others as ourselves. This is Surrendered Strength. What's up, men? It's Nyland from SurrenderedStrength.com, and welcome to another episode of the Surrendered Strength Radio. Welcome, everyone. If you have been here before, welcome back. If you are new here, welcome. I appreciate you stopping in and checking out the Surrendered Strength Radio and just being part of a movement, a group of men who are working daily to honor God. And what we do at Surrendered Strength is strengthen and encourage men to do just that, to honor God with their abilities, with their opportunities, whatever they can and have each and every day. So welcome. Glad you are here. Now, I want to encourage you to please rate and leave a review on the podcast so we can share and just strengthen and encourage many more men to honor God daily, because we need that in this day and age. We need men who are willing to stand up for what they believe, and we need men who are going to act as God has called us to act. So please, again, leave that review, rate it, so we can continue to share and spread the strengthening and the encouraging. So with that, let's get started on today's topic. Today's topic is about belief, or for lack of a better term, faith. And I've been thinking about, belief, and last night I had a group call with some men, the Council of Kings, that, it's a little bit of a Bible study and a little bit of a accountability and just building upon each other. And I left the men, as we ended the call last night, I left the men with a quote from Grant Cardone, and that is, "I'm not here to compete, I'm here to dominate." And as I was thinking about that quote the last couple of days, the thing that really stuck out to me is, as I thought about the idea of dominating and just being really freaking good at what you're doing, whether that's, for me, just strengthening, encouraging men to honor God. That's what I want to do. I want to dominate at that. But, maybe you work construction, maybe you work as a lawyer, maybe you do whatever. I don't know what you do, but it doesn't matter, because if you really start to think about what it means to dominate in your field, in your profession, it simply means believing that there is something better, that you can be better, and you can become the best at whatever it is you're doing. So again, I was thinking about that quote, "I'm not here to compete, I'm here to dominate." And I just couldn't help but think about the impact of belief and having faith. When we start to believe something, there's a little fire that gets lit inside of us, whether that's our physical battles, challenges, pursuits, or our spiritual battles, challenges, and pursuits. And actually, Jack Santora and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, where if you're going to start anything, physical, mental, spiritual, if you're going to start anything, you have to believe that you're going to be successful. And so whether that's maybe you're starting a nutrition plan or a fitness plan, if you don't believe you're going to be successful, if you can't see a positive result at the end of whatever your little timeline is, then you're probably not going to be successful. What you believe is what you get. So I want to just share some thoughts and encouragement about the idea of just believing and faith. So with that, the first thing is, how does belief or faith and doubt play a part in our lives? There's two sides of the coin here. When you have faith, you are in, or you can be in, if you so choose to be in whatever it is you're doing. You can be in. You can move forward in a direction that you want to go. That's going to benefit you and benefit others. If you have doubt, you're not in. You're out, and the chances of you moving in a direction that benefits you or moving in any direction is slim to none. So with faith, we have the ability to move in the direction that we want to go. So we're either in or we're out with doubt. Secondly, hope versus hopelessness. When we have faith in something, when we have faith in God, that he's going to bring us to the other side of any struggle in a better position, then there's a little hope. There's a light. It's not depression and darkness. There's a little hope, or a little light that we can look towards. It might be miles off, but there's that light. There's that hope when we have faith. When we have doubt, there's no hope. Or yeah, when we have doubt, there's hopelessness. So there's no hope. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. We can't see through the dark. We can't see the light that God has put forth. Think of it as Satan pulling a blanket over your head, and you can't see where you're going. That's hopelessness, and that leads to depression and a lot of physical, mental, spiritual challenges, battles, illnesses that I'm sure some of you have dealt with. I've dealt with my fair share of depression, and it is not a fun place to be. So the difference between having faith versus doubt is the light, the hope versus the hopelessness. And third, having faith allows us to have success. When we have faith, we can be successful, even if it's just a little success. There's that faith of success. If we have doubt, it's failure. It's almost always failure, because we're not going to be striving towards anything. We're going to be either sitting where we are, not moving, or we're going to be moving in a direction that may lead us into alcohol, drugs, pornography, things that degrade us as men, and pull us away from God, or not necessarily pull us away, but pull our focus away from God. So we need to have faith. We need to believe in something bigger. Obviously, the big thing is Jesus. He's the the salvation. So we need to first believe in Jesus, so we know where we're going eternally. Once we have, that belief, that faith for the end of this life, we can start to believe in positives and some good things that God has in store for us in this life. So now I want to bring some points up. And if we look at Jesus's life, he did a lot of things, and he did a lot of things with faith. But I believe there's a lot of people that think Jesus did a lot of things simply because he was the son of man, or the son of God, and he had powers. Yes, he did have powers, but I also think that a lot of the things he was able to do was simply because he had faith in God, in God's power. And we know that Jesus lived in this physical world. He suffered and he died in this physical world. So I kind of struggle to believe that he had or was able to use, or maybe he was able, but maybe he just didn't use the powers that he did have, because he could have done so much more if he used all the godly powers that he had. But he didn't. He did a lot of things that we can do, but I feel like there's a lot of people that are underestimating the faith that Jesus used to do the things that he did. So for example, Jesus did a 40-day fast. He went to the wilderness and he fasted for 40 days. And I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, you can't do that. But it's been proven. There's been humans that haven't been the son of God that have done that. So that has been proven. And no one, trust me, I've done 5 and I've done 7-day fast. You're not getting through a fast without faith that you're going to survive without eating for a day or 2 or 7 or whatever. So you've got to have faith if you're going to do a fast. And he wasn't being fed anything physical, so he did the fast as a human. And like I said, if you're going to do a fast of any sort, there's got to be a faith, there's got to be a hope, a light at the end of the tunnel. So that was one thing. Jesus also was healing the sick. And this is where, is he using the power that he has, or is he using the faith that he has in God to heal people? And there's a lot of verses in the Bible. If you just type in Bible verses about faith, there's a lot of them. But I want to share with you a couple. And one of them is healing. And go, said Jesus, your faith has healed you. Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. That's Mark chapter 10, verse 52. If we read that, Jesus said, your faith has healed you. He didn't say, my power, my faith has healed you. It was the man who was blind. It was his faith that healed him. So this just shows that when we have faith in Jesus, we are able to do a lot more things. And so this just leads me to believe that Jesus was able to do a lot of the things that he did through faith, not so much his power, but through faith in God. So that's number 2. Again, number 1 was the 40-day fast. Number 2 was the healing. And number 3, the feeding of thousands. He fed thousands of people with a small number of fish and loaves of bread. And was it his power, or was it his faith in God's power that allowed that to happen? I don't know. I can't answer, but I have to believe. I mean, we have to believe. We have to know almost that it was God's power and the faith that Jesus had in God's power that allowed that to happen. So it wasn't like Jesus was like, I can do this, I got this, and zapped a bunch of fish and bread. It was God has us. Don't worry. We got this because God is watching over us. I have faith in my Heavenly Father that he can do this. So those are just 3 examples of things that Jesus did that I feel like there's a lot of people that see that and think that is only possible because Jesus is the Son of God and he has the same powers as God. But realistically, I think those are all possible only because Jesus has faith in God. Now, will we be able to do all the same things that Jesus did? Long fast? Yes. Healing sick? Yes. Feeding thousands? Yes. I believe that we all have the ability to do that with faith in God. Now, will it look exactly the same as Jesus did it? No, probably not. There's a common theme with God that he rarely ever uses the same method twice. It's possible, it happens, but it is rare that he uses the same people and the same method to do the same thing twice. Even if we look in the life of Jesus, how many blind people did he heal? Did he do it the same way every time? No. In the verse that I just read, Jesus said, "Go, your faith has healed you." In another verse, he spit in the ground, made some mud, rubbed the mud on the guy's eyes, and he became healed that way. So just because we're not doing something exactly like Jesus did in the Bible, that doesn't mean we can't do certain things that we see Jesus do, whether it's fasting, whether it's healing people, whether it's feeding people, whatever your mission is to help people, it is possible with faith. And when we start to really see or really dive into that faith in Jesus and start to see the possibilities that we have with whatever mission that God has put in your heart, we can start to grow and move forward in that mission with that faith. So with that, I want to share a few verses with you on faith. First one is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Again, when we have faith, we have confidence that something is going to happen in the future. Something positive, something good is going to happen. And we have an assurance within that faith that, as we move forward, God is going to create things. He's going to open doors for us to allow us to just pursue the mission that he's put on our hearts, to honor him. Whatever that may be. There's, like I said, I'm in a group with other men, and we all have similar missions, similar goals and what we want to do, but they're not the same. One guy has a vision to create a whole culture, and there's programs for kids, and from kids to adults. And there's another guy that wants to focus specifically on men. But when we have faith and we create that confidence through our faith, we can start to process whatever that mission is. And we may not see the end result exactly, or we may not get the end result exactly how we see it in our head, but God will open doors as we continue to walk in step with him, and just have faith in his plan, whatever that may be. So another verse, a couple lines here from Mark chapter 9. This stuck out to me as a father in this story. A father has a son who has an unclean spirit, and he wants Jesus to heal him. He wants Jesus to heal his son. So this is verse 22 through 24. And it often casts him into the fire and water to destroy him. The spirit cast the boy into the fire and the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us. And Jesus said to him, if you can, all things are possible for one who believes. Immediately, the father of the child cried out and said, I believe, help my unbelief. Now, again, what really stuck out to me there is the father said, if you can do anything. And Jesus is kind of like, wait, what did you say? If you can? Like, I'm Jesus, and B, if you have faith, anything is possible. So men, we need to really understand that the faith that we have in Jesus can lead to more things and more opportunities than we will ever imagine. But without the faith, we're not going to have the movement, and without the movement, the doors aren't going to open. So we need to continue to be in our Bible, to build upon our faith, and then we need to step into our faith. We need to move forward, because if we just sit and read and sit and wait for God, hey, there's a chance that a door is going to open if we're just sitting there waiting. But there's a lot more doors that are going to be open, a lot more opportunities that we are going to have to learn and grow, and to help people, and to share our mission, to share the gospel when we step out in faith and move and be the hands and feet of God. So men, I'm going to leave it at that. I encourage you to continue to build upon your faith wherever you are. If you are new to the faith, start reading the Gospels, start seeing all the things that Jesus did through the faith, through his faith in God. And, if you've been around Christianity, if you've been around the Bible, take some time to just go back and rekindle the faith, the fire that is the things that are possible through Jesus, through the faith of God. And another verse that we're told in the Gospels is, all you need is the faith of a mustard seed, and you can move mountains. So a little faith is going to do a lot. So I encourage you men to start with a little faith. Maybe you don't have any. Maybe you're at a point where you're struggling because of choices you made, or other people's choices that have put you in positions that you don't want to be. All you need is a little faith. And I encourage you to just lean into Jesus and to trust Jesus, and maybe even give your life to Jesus and allow him to take over your life, to lead you down a path of faith, of hope, and of love, and of blessings, because that's what God has in store for us, is blessings. When we walk in that faith, when we move closer to God, he has blessings. And I believe there's eternal blessings, but there's also heavenly blessings. And we just have to continue to walk forward. Is it going to happen overnight? Are we going to be blessed overnight? Maybe. But in my experience, God is a God of process. So it's not going to happen overnight. We need to continue to trust, continue to have that faith, and continue to move towards God daily. Then I encourage you to just have faith and step forward each and every day. Thanks for listening to the Surrendered Strength Radio. Connect with me at surrenderedstrength.com. Be sure to share this podcast with other brothers in Christ, family, and friends. Until next time, remain strong, courageous, and honorable, loving God and loving others as yourself.